FEMA's grant programs cover a broad range of activities that help build and sustain the nation's capability to prevent, protect, respond to, recover from, and mitigate all hazards. FEMA's grants help the nation not only respond to disasters, but to plan and prepare for them, thus making states, tribes, territories, and localities more resilient. FEMA awards a large portion of grants on behalf of the Department of Homeland Security. 99% of FEMA's grant dollars are distributed across 3 disaster grant programs and 2 non-disaster grant programs. FEMA non-disaster grants help state, local, tribal, and territorial emergency responders prepare for threats and hazards that the nation faces. The largest portion of preparedness grants focus on homeland security and are an important part of strengthening the nation's preparedness. On average, the agency administers $2.3 billion each year in funding in this category. Preparedness grants play an important role in achieving the national preparedness goal of a secure and resilient nation. On average, FEMA administers $690 million each year to the Assistance to Firefighters Grant (AFG) program. The program helps recruit, retain, and hire firefighters and supports fire prevention and safety activities in the community. The AFG program helps firefighters and other first responders get training, equipment, protective gear, emergency vehicles, and other resources needed to protect the public and emergency personnel from fire and related hazards. 3 programs make up the AFG program. The full list of non-disaster grant programs at FEMA help communities prepare for hazards before they happen. These non-disaster grants fund preparedness throughout the community and various levels of government. When the President declares a disaster, the declaration designates the types of assistance available to individuals and communities. FEMA obligates on average $4.8 billion in public assistance per year. These grants support response to and recovery from major disasters or emergencies. Public assistance grants are awarded to state, local, tribal, and territorial governments and certain types of nonprofit organizations. Public assistance grants cover a wide range of activities. On average each year, FEMA obligates $1.4 billion in individual assistance grants, providing supplemental recovery assistance to individuals and households in presidentially declared emergencies and major disasters. Assistance is given to those who were impacted by a presidentially declared disaster, subject to eligibility criteria. Individual assistance provides grants directly to disaster survivors to help with housing needs and other disaster-related losses. Individual assistance also supports state, local, tribal, and territorial governments in providing services and assistance to disaster survivors. On average, FEMA obligates $1 billion in hazard mitigation funding post-disaster. The Hazard Mitigation Grant Program helps communities implement measures to reduce or eliminate long-term risk to people and property from natural hazards. States, tribal nations, territories, localities, individual homeowners, businesses, and private nonprofits are eligible to apply for hazard mitigation grants. FEMA's many disaster grants help communities, individuals, organizations, and governments respond to and recover from disasters and mitigate against future hazards. The full portfolio of FEMA's grant programs provide critical funding to the emergency management community to help advance the ultimate goal of a resilient nation.